Welcome back to the BreakThrough podcast. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. We're in year 4. Can't believe it. We are in year 4 of the BreakThrough podcast. I wanted to come on to share with you what's going to happen with episodes number 4 through 9. We are actually going to take you back to the conference. So you'll hear from individuals who participated in our annual Ride Impact Conference. So in episode 4, you'll hear the welcome, me, as well as you'll hear from Vanessa Bright. She is the founder of the Maryland Reentry Resource Center. Then we'll have a legislative update and inspiration from Thalin Tolman. So you'll hear from that. In episode 5, you'll hear the keynote. In the keynote, I'm interviewing, it's really the BreakThrough podcast. I'm interviewing 3 entrepreneurs who were formerly incarcerated. So you'll hear their story and hear how they're operating their business. Episode 6, we go into, and let me back up. So the conference really focused on what we call path. There's always a new pathway to whatever you're looking to do. If you're looking to build a business, better your life, there's a new path. So each one of those, the PATH, we created a workshop for that. So in episode 6, you'll hear from Chris Taylor. He's with SCORE Service Corps of Retired Executives, and he'll talk about the path to economic growth. Episode number 6, you'll hear from Shay Cook, and she'll talk about access to financial freedom. Episode 8, you'll hear from Dr. Paul Archibald, and he'll talk about transferable skills. And then finally, episode number 9, you'll hear from Tanya Charles, and she'll focus on health and wellness. And then after episode 9, we'll continue our traditional where we'll bring in studio individuals who were formerly incarcerated, who are now entrepreneurs, as well as organizations that are supporting those individuals. So stay tuned. We're in for an impactful year. Look forward to hearing from you. And as always, if you're interested in being a guest or looking to recommend a guest, please email me, omar@edacmorgan.com. And that's omar@edacmorgan.com. Until we see each other again, continue to improve and progress. Peace.
Shay Cook is the CEO and founder of Crusaders for Change, LLC. In addition to devoting herself to several civil service positions, being an active member of her local community, and raising an impressive daughter with her husband, who is also retired from the retired Air Force, Shay somehow found time to start her own company, Crusaders for Change, on May 5th, 2016. And basically it's focused on empowering and equipping the broader community with the tools they need to become financially free through counseling, coaching, and classes. Welcome, Shay.
Hi, good morning, Janine.
Good morning. I'm going to remove myself so you can go right ahead.
All right, you see my screen I'm sharing? Just want to make sure everybody can see my screen. All right, there we go. Thank you. So good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Shay Cook. I am with Crusaders for Change, and we are a team of accredited financial counselors helping people get out of debt, improve their credit, save, and much, much more. Since we only have 30 minutes and credit is a big topic, I figured we should just discuss everything personal finance from the financial view or personal finance with credit in mind. So if you have a piece of paper or your phone or your note app, we're going to do an assessment together. We're going to go line by line. You're going to write down what is important to you and how satisfied you are in terms of personal finances. There are 19 items we're going to go through. I'm going to ask everyone to just, again, pull out a piece of paper and some notes, and we're going to do that together. So while you're getting that together, I am going to just introduce a little bit more about what we do at Crusaders for Change. Our vision is really personal financial freedom for all. And as Janine said, we empower and equip women, men, and children with the tools, whether it's knowledge, skills, resources needed to become financially free. So we do that through counseling, coaching, consulting, and classes, and really helping people in the areas of pray, work, play is what we like to say. If you check out our website, we go a little more detailed into that. But pray, whatever religious institution you may serve, we help the congregation, the church members, the synagogue members, and so forth in the areas of financial wellness and financial literacy. Small businesses, we provide financial wellness programs to employees and to staff and even their membership in terms of financial literacy and financial education. Is it okay, Janine?
One quick thing, Shay, is there a way you can make your screen a little larger because it's smaller?
Oh, it's small? Okay, yeah, 1 second.
Yes, that's perfect.
That's perfect? Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And then really what our goals are is really to change behavior around personal finances, whether it's you having problems with spending or saving or like credit, like we're going to talk about today, getting out of debt, which all intertwines with credit, improving your credit, as we mentioned, and meeting financial goals. So we have some really cool blogs and videos, new blogs coming out starting next month, newsletters you can sign up for if you go to our website, crusaders4change.org. I'll also share that at the end. And then we have some blogs, again, in a YouTube channel with Sandy Change, who's our caricature here. And she talks about all different things, finances. So hopefully everybody has their paper out or their notes out. I can't see any comments or anybody to see if you do. So hopefully you do. Let me go to comments to make sure if I see anything here. All right. Yeah, so if you have your paper out, we're going to go through this assessment. Really on a scale of 0 to 5, you're going to describe your level of satisfaction. So again, 0 is not applicable. Dissatisfied is 1. So a lot of people, when we're doing this assessment, they're like, oh, can I do 1.5? No. Or 2.5? No. You're going to stay within the either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 is you're completely satisfied. You're not going to overthink it either. Whatever comes to mind, you're going to write it down. So I'm going to quickly go through this. For the next about 2-3 minutes, you're going to write down either 0, it doesn't apply to you. 1, you're totally dissatisfied in this area. Or 5, you're satisfied. And then we're going to come back and we're going to go through and see how all of these intertwines or connects you with your credit and improving your credit or just having something to do with your credit. So if everybody's ready, let me check the comments. Any comments there, Janine or Yvette? I see Yvette putting some information in there. All right, we're going to get started.
Good.
You're good? All right, perfect. Thank you. So starting with number 1, I am satisfied with the way I handle money. So either everybody handles money in some kind of way, unless you're not working, which could be true. Some people put 0 because they're being taken care of by somebody else. But if you are working or you have access to some kind of money, you're either going to put 1, yes, I'm totally dissatisfied with how I handle money, up to 5, I'm satisfied. And I'm going to move really quickly because I don't want you guys to overthink it. And then we're going to come back and you're going to look at your number and we're going to kind of discuss that a little bit more. So number 2, I am satisfied with my ability to meet my financial obligations. So either you have no financial obligations, no bills, which most people have bills, you can put 0. But if you're totally dissatisfied, you pay your bills late, you're not meeting obligations, you can put 1. But if you're paying everything on time, you feel good about that, put 5. Or anywhere in between there. I'm satisfied with my career choice. This may or may not apply depending on your situation, but if you feel like you have options out there to start a career again or moving forward with that, put 5 if you're satisfied with that. But if you're dissatisfied, you're like, I'm not getting the support, I don't think I have a choice, put 1 there. I'm satisfied with my current income potential. Now, number 4, that's really just understanding how much you can make. I know, people pay minimum wage. That's usually not a living wage. And you're like, oh, that's not going to help me with my potential to make more money. But if you like, oh, I can make more money, I'm starting with a living wage or higher, then you can definitely put I'm satisfied. Or that as you get more education, more experience, more time working in a position, you will have more income. You put 5 there. All right, now these are good at some of the ones that people get really frustrated with. I'm satisfied with the level of debt that I carry. So if you have a lot of debt, you or your partner or somebody you're living with, and you guys share that debt and it's just heavy on you, you got a lot thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Some people I see, you would put 1 there. But if you know that your debt is pretty low, you can put 5 there. All right, I'm satisfied with the extras I can buy for myself or others. So, being able to buy the necessities, but also the wants for you and your family, your friends, your children. Put down 1 if you're dissatisfied, you're not able to provide, presents. If you want to buy stuff for your friends or family, but or for yourself, necessities. If you are satisfied, you put 5. All right, level of financial education. I'm satisfied with my level of financial education. Either put a 1 if you're like, I don't have a clue about money management. I don't have a clue about debt, credit, savings, meeting financial goals. Or, yeah, I know about that. I've done some training. I've done it in school, friends, family, online, YouTube. Please put 5 if you're satisfied with that. All right, I'm satisfied with the level and quality insurance I have. So this is auto insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, medical insurance, health insurance, life insurance, all those different insurances there you might get through your job or an organization you're connected with through the state, or you don't have any. So if you put that where you are 1, you don't have any insurance, or you don't know much about it, or your level is pretty low, or you're like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good in that area. All right, I'm satisfied with the amount of money I save regularly. I know times are hard these days for a lot of people. A lot of people are using credit cards to get by, but if you're able to save, congratulations. That's awesome. So put a 5 if you're satisfied with the amount of money you're saving. Or if you're like, no, I'm not saving a lot and I need to save more, put 1. Or if you're saving nothing, put a 0. All right, a few more here. So I am satisfied with the amount of money I invest regularly. So if you actually have some investments, good on you. You're awesome. A lot of people don't have these, whether it's stocks, bonds, securities. You put 5 if you're satisfied with that, or 1 if you're not. And if your next one is, I'm satisfied with my current investment choices, goes along with 10 and 11 go to hand in hand. You're investing regularly, but you're also satisfied with your diversification and how you're actually saving for your investments, or how you say investing, excuse me. So again, put 1 if you're not satisfied and 5 if you're satisfied. All right. So how many of us are on track for build a retirement nest egg? A lot of clients that we help, they're not. But if you're satisfied with, you're on track with that, put a 1 and then, a 5 if you're satisfied and a 1 if you're dissatisfied. How about, are you satisfied with what you want to do in retirement? Do you know what you want to do in retirement? That's awesome if you do. A lot of people are like, I'm never retiring, I'm an entrepreneur, my business is going to make money. That is awesome. But if you're knowing like, no, 55, 65, 75, I'm retiring. I know that I want to go volunteer. I want to start another business. I want to do this or that. I will put a 5 for that, or 4. But if you're not satisfied, 1, 2, or 3, or if you're in the middle, it's a 3. All right, so your current level of employee benefits, which is very important. If you're satisfied with your current level of employee benefits, if they're giving you everything you need on top of the salary, you will put a 5. You're like, oh no, they need to give me more, whether it's a gym membership, more healthcare, more life insurance. Child care is a big benefit coming up these days. If you're not satisfied, you can put 1. Style, if you're satisfied with your style of managing your financial records. So this is like your tax records. We're going to go a little bit deeper into this in a minute when we connect it with credit. But if you're satisfied with that, great. 5, not 1. 4 more. I'm satisfied with my plans for my children's education. So if you've been saving in a 529 or an IRA or wherever way you've been saving for your children's education, that's great. If you haven't, that's okay too. If you don't feel like it's a priority, you think your kid's going to pay for it. If you have kids, you'll put 5 if you're satisfied, 1 if you're not, or 0 if you don't have any kids. Last 3, I'm satisfied with my legacy planning, including charitable intent. All right. So are you saving to that religious institution or a charity that you love? Are you saving for your kids, your family when you're leaving? You're planning for your legacy. That's a 5. If not, a 1. If you haven't even thought about it, a 0. And these are ones that we actually focus a lot with around Crusades for Change with clients. Like, how do you respond emotionally to money issues? How satisfied are you with that? Do you get really angry or upset or mad when you're thinking about your money issues? And that's probably a 1. If you're responding, you're like, no, I'm good, I'm at peace, it is what it is, and you're a 5. And then what is your ability to communicate financial concerns? That's how satisfied with you. Are you sharing that with your family, your friends, your banks, your bankers? Maybe you have financial counselors, coaches, advisors. How satisfied with you communicating those concerns, whatever is concerning you around money, how satisfied you are with that. So put a 1 if you're not, and a 5 that you are completely satisfied. So hopefully everybody put down their numbers. So I would say, look at your notes on your phone, look at your notes on your paper, and see if you got a lot of 1s, you're totally dissatisfied. We got some work to do. If you got a lot of 5s, that's awesome. Most people that we work with, most people that I know don't have a lot of 5s, or they're in between like a 3. They got some 2s in there. That's just going to give you a good idea of how satisfied you are with everything financial. So you can even put in there, we're sure they're going to give you these slides, but you can also just write down next to number 1 and handling money or meeting financial obligations, career choice. So you have an idea when you look at this tonight or later. But how does all this factor in with credit? Well, if you're looking at how you handle your money, this is all about self-control. This is discipline. This is sacrifice. Scoring yourself high or low on this usually helps the individual understand why they're spending on their credit cards. We can help people understand, like, if you're not handling your money, if you're not handling your money well, if you have a 1, if you put down a 1, there is a chance, I'm not going to deal in absolutes here, there is a chance that you have a lot of money on your credit cards, or you are spending out of control. So that is something just to have, just so you know and understand why you're using your credit a lot, why your score is low. And then going into meeting your financial obligations. It's really important to pay your bills on time and meet the obligations you agreed to. So paying your credit card in terms of credit, your credit card bills late affects your credit score if you're using the FICO score up to 35%. So there's the credit score FICO, and hopefully most of y'all are familiar with. If not, Google or search FICO, FICO. That's one of the top scores used, but there's like literally tens, if not hundreds of different scores used by banks and credit unions and other lenders. But it's very important to know if you're not meeting your financial obligations, this is the first thing a lender wants to know, whether you have paid your credit card accounts on time. So they use this information. It's very, very important. So that's why we look at that. Like, are you meeting your financial obligations? Because if you're not, we have some work to do. All right. In terms of career choice, what does that have to do with credit? Well, sometimes, it's just all about your career and how much you're making. And that goes in 3 and 4 kind of go together. How much money you're making, the income potential you're making, that helps you understand better. Excuse me 1 second. Lost my notes here. Oops, I guess I didn't do that. Have a better understanding of how much money you're going to make, and goes into the other ones. If you're not making a lot of money and you feel like you're not your ends are making ends meet, as they say, if you have more month as money, as we would like to say, then a lot of times you're going to depend on some other subsidy, like credit, debt, family members, payday lending to meet those needs. So moving in the right direction with your career, having a current income potential that's higher than where you are now, really helps you pay down that debt and stay away from credit. All right, so level of debt, including tax debt. I always put that on there because we meet a lot of people who are not paying their taxes, and it's important to file each year so you don't have that debt on you. But if your debt is high, most likely it's on credit cards, but it could be on a house, a car, it could be personal loans, payday lenders, so many different ways to get debt in this country. But that is really going to affect your credit. The amounts owed on your credit cards, whether if I'm again using the FICO as the general credit scoring system here, 30% of the amounts owed, how much debt you have on your lines of credit, your debt is going to affect your credit score. So the more debt you have, the more lower your score is going to be. All right, moving into financial education, we're going to skip over number 6, but with financial education, this is another piece of the puzzle. You don't know what you don't know, but it really helps to know the basics about personal finances to succeed. Many people don't understand or never learn how to manage money, credit, debt, savings, investing, and so forth. So usually there is a connection between low financial education and low credit scores. So you definitely want to beef up your financial education. Contact us. We can help educate you there. But if you don't want to, there's lots of programs, I'm sure, even through Morgan University or many different other resources, which we're going to share, that provides financial education. And then level and quality of insurance. I see many people with no life, no health, renters, no insurance. Instead of using or having insurance, they use their credit cards. So, they're using their credit cards for auto repairs because they don't have enough insurance for their autos. They're using it for home repairs because they don't have enough renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, or homeowner's insurance for home repairs, or something happens and they don't have enough renter's insurance. They're using it for funerals because they didn't have life insurance, or just having the right amount of insurance can lessen your financial burden. So that's why that's important, to see if you're dissatisfied, then we need to get your levels and your quality insurance up. Saving is a huge one, always is, especially for unexpected expenses. It's the best to have an emergency savings established as soon as you can. Even if you're only saving $20 a month. I used to work for the military. I work for the military and still do, actually, off and on, for over 20 years. And a lot of our service members were like, I can't save $5 a month. Well, if you can save whatever you can, $20 a month, $5 a month, to start building it up and then increase it as you make more money or you pay off things. It really helps you stay away from that credit card. So, and it helps you get your, be able to use that money for unexpected emergencies, or unexpected expenses. And then instead of using your credit card, you can pay that off and then have your credit score go up. All right, any questions so far? I don't want to keep talking.
No, we're good right now.
All right, sounds good. All right, so investing, which is different than savings. A lot of people want to put those together. They go hand in hand, but this is where and how you grow your money, your assets, your wealth, your legacy, which we talked about later in here in this assessment. So it's a long-term solution, but it's still better to use stocks, bonds, and other securities when you're no longer working. So like you save, invest for, you might save and invest for your house, for a car. You might save and invest for your future, for legacy, for retirement. I see a lot of people who didn't invest early on that unfortunately have to rely on credit cards later to keep a certain quality of life when they retire or they get older. So investing is important as part of all this, building your credit and learning more about credit. Building a retirement nest egg, it goes hand in hand, like I said, with investing. So it's important if and when you plan to retire, it's still better to use your retirement savings, whether it's a 401k, 403b, IRA, SEP, than when you don't, when you're not working, use a credit card. So managing your financial records. So how is this important and how does this connect to your credit? So I always laugh at this. A lot of people are unorganized with their paperwork or just don't know how to access them when it's pertinent. So people don't understand how important it is to stay on top of financial records, bills, and other documents to avoid falling into not paying or failing to pay a bill on time or get through a tax audit. Okay, how many of us know family members or maybe even been through an audit and didn't have our paperwork in order and got dinged by the IRS? So we help a lot of clients around this as well, but it's just very important to have all your paperwork organized whenever a situation hit. Or I've seen people have come into their house or they've told me through a call and are like, my water bill is really late. And then they're looking at it and are like, oh, it's been sitting on my dining room table or wherever. So simple things is organizing your bills and records and making sure those in order. So you're paying your bills on time. So you're not getting dinged on your credit. It all factors in. It all comes together. So how do you respond emotionally to money issues can really affect how your relationship with money and others, I see this as a big issue in couples, along with the lack of communication. Many use credit cards when dealing with an emotional issue. So as accredited financial counselors, one of our things we do is really help people look at the behavior and the money trauma and mind bad mindsets around money. And when there's an emotional issue going on, or there's trauma, usually people are using their credit cards. So I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that or doing that as currently, but that can really be attached to bad credit or just having credit issues. So we want to manage those emotions, get help and ask for help. And then moving into communicating financial concerns. It's really okay to ask for help. If you don't know, then you don't know, and you can ask somebody, right? So communication is always key. We offer a free credit clarity call, excuse me, for you to learn how to get help with all of these issues. So again, since we're short on time, I just wanted to go through that assessment, and hopefully everybody wrote down their numbers and seen it's like, oh man, I'm really dissatisfied in a lot of areas of my life. I need to go ask for help, whether it's Crusaders for Change or us or another organization. I was going to do a quick $500 exercise. I don't know if we have time, but I'll just show it real quick in the screen here. I got $500. Go ahead, Janine. We got time?
We have time.
Okay, good. Okay. Excuse me. I would love some interaction. That's the only thing about virtual, and you can't see other people. I should have been there today, but I had another obligation today. But if you guys if I give you $500, so I got 500 of these fake dollars, that ain't real. I would actually go around the room and give everybody $500, and we would have a conversation about what would you do if I gave you $500 today, depending and considering everything we just talked about really quickly, those 19 items. How would you use that to help either improve your credit, to improve your financial situation, to help a family member out? I don't know, Janine, if we can get some interaction in the chat or virtually. I would love to hear what people were going to do with $500.
Omar, in person, can we get some interaction in person? We could ask her online as well. I know I can't hear Omar. He's at the Cube co-work.
Oh, okay. Got
but
it.
You could start it and maybe he'll jump in.
So in the comments?
Yeah. I mean, you can start whatever the exercise is.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just asking a simple question. If I handed you $500, what would you do with it today? So usually people would type it in the chat or share live, so I can understand where you're at in your financial journey. What are you needing help with? If you're comfortable sharing, of course.
We had some that said pay off bills.
Okay.
That was cool. Pay off bills. Start saving.
Start saving. All right.
That's how I have so far.
I will put it away
Probably
for a rainy day.
Some people may want to say go shopping. No one did, but
save it. I see some people say savings. All right, so we got pay off bills, save it, and pay bills. And what was the last one, Janine? You said shopping. Okay.
Always wanted.
So how do we use this exercise when we're helping people, or when I'm doing these presentations? It gives me an understanding of where people are at in their financial journey. If you're saying shop it, then I'm hoping that you already got savings and you're good to go, that you're already investing, that you're retiring, that you're good to go. And I always say to people, at least take $100 or $50 for yourself and then do something smart with the $400. Actually, doing something with the $100 or $50 is smart too, because a lot of people, they don't save for fun. Some people are just totally on the opposite end and just all about saving, investing, and helping their financial situation, but not really thinking about themselves. So I always say you should put some aside for yourself. And then you should also, if you got some debt, pay off or pay on something. Hey, if you can pay off something with $400, do that, move that extra payment over to another bill, which will help with your credit as well. Or you might want to, some people are like, I want to tithe, or I want to give it to a charity. That's awesome too. So whatever you would want to do with that, think about that. If you had $500 in your hand today, what would you do with it today based off of those 19 items? So you can start improving your situation, especially if you have bad credit or just low credit. You want to approve because you're ready to buy a house or a car and get good interest rates, which hopefully you guys all understand that, in this country and in many countries around the world, that credit score is very important. I know a lot of people like, I don't want credit. I don't want credit. But unfortunately, you need credit in this country. But you can be very responsible with it. You can get yourself to a point where you're paying down all your credit every month and then have a great 800, 850 score, the highest scores out there, at least under the FICO system, and then be able to get that low interest rate, which in the end saves you a lot of money. All right, so last 2 slides of the day, where to go for help. And we can share these resources later as well. Of course, Crusaders for Change, we're here to support you, but some of our favorite places that we go to is Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They have a lot of great resources, consumerfinance.gov. Debt management program that we use, and that a lot, when I worked for the military, this was one of our very important debt management programs for personal finances or for service members. Was incharge.org, and for a very low cost, they will help you pay down debt. And then, of course, if you're a retired military or military veteran, there's a lot of resources out there for military. So I would check out the emergency assistant resources through your service branch. If you're currently working, there are workplace employment assistant programs. If you're a small business owner, again, we can come in, Crusades for Change, and offer this service to you and your employees. A lot of people that are small business owners are here, are wondering, like, how can this help me business-wise? Well, I mean, a lot of small business owners, that personal finances are all jacked up, and they need to get those in order so they can help with their business, and especially with lending and access to capital. All right, so any questions you can put in the chat, but we do offer a free 15-minute clarity call. So there's the link there, the bit.ly, or you can just go to crusaders4change.org to access that free call. Or you can just email us, text us, and follow us on all the social media channels. We're there providing great resources and education. So yeah, that's all I have for today. And that quick 30 minutes. I think I might have 5 more minutes, or no, I'm good.
You're good. So let's see. We did have a gentleman who must have been a little delayed. He said, when you were asking about what they were doing money, he said, create an LLC, get an EIN number, take the money, put in a credit union account to establish a rapport, then get a loan to start business.
Okay.
He broke it out. He's
got it all down. All right. That's a lot to do with $500, but yeah, you really could make all that happen with all $500. So
one question is, what is the best way to start saving?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. So there's many ways of saving, whether it's just a traditional method of opening a savings account and taking a couple dollars a month from whatever you're making, whether it's 10%, or you could say, I'm going to start with $20 a month, and I'm going to increase in a few months to $40 a month. I'm going to increase by whatever number. So that's the traditional way of savings. But people don't understand, if you pay down your credit, if you pay down your debt, that's another form of savings, because you're not paying all of that interest. So that's saving as well, or investing. So there's many different ways of savings, but the traditional way is just to look at your spending plan or your budget. Hopefully you got one. We didn't go into that today, but we help with that as well, and see where you can cut on expenses that are unnecessary or just exorbitant. And then you can put that money into a traditional savings, whether it's a credit union or bank, online, financial institution. So that's the traditional ways, but there's other ways as well.
And I have a question. I remember years ago, I had my aunt, she used to do they still have like the Christmas savings account? So she used to start it and put money in it. So she wouldn't have to worry about taking money out of her, day-to-day money for the kids. Do they still have those?
Like, and it's funny you said that, Janine, because I do that for my nieces and nephews. So I put money away for them, and they call it a club account, and the credit unions are just an extra savings account. You can label it. And so I have a savings. And so I was able to give each of my nieces and nephew $100 last year because I saved throughout the year. So they were really cool. But yeah, and Lamont's putting out Acorn. That's more they do a savings exam, but they also specialize in investing. So there's these roundup programs that you spend amount of money, and then it rounds up and puts those dollars or cents into your savings account. So there's many different ways to save. But yeah, they still have those accounts to me.
Okay, awesome. Let me just check if there's any more questions. I don't see it. Well, I just want to thank you so much for Shay. Her information is in the resource guide, as well as Yvette has put it in the in the chat area